much for having me here today. And I'd really like to just acknowledge the Unstereotype Alliance members and allies, especially, of course, the ASCII Academy. So this is a joint initiative, and we're so proud to be here and to be standing alongside you today. I'd also like to really welcome, of course, the senior industry leaders, particularly from the advertising, marketing and media sectors, who are here to sort of demonstrate your interest and also your commitment to this idea. And everyone else who has joined us for the event, civil society and community members, of course. So, as you've just heard from Sarah, UN Women is the convener of the Unstereotype Alliance, and we really take enormous pride and pleasure in co-organising this important event today. We're really gathered here with this goal of changing society. You know, we all inhabit stereotypes. So I'm sure you look at me, I'm an older woman, I'm 61 now. I carry with me my culture from Australia, so that's an invisible aspect of me that I codify inside me. You can't really see my culture so much, but it's nonetheless there, as your cultures are within you. So, you know, you look at me and you think, oh yeah, older woman. But actually, you know, I've had a very diverse life. So I'm very good at home renovations. I've painted houses. I'm very good at using power tools. I actually wanted to be a mechanic and never did that, partly because of the stereotypes that held me in place. I've trekked to Everest Base Camp by myself. I'm really hoping next year actually to explore the Indian Himalayas myself. You know, I was only a mother at 45. So, you know, that's just a few of the things that I'm willing to have in the public domain about me. But, you know, I am a conglomeration of all of these unstereotype things, as I'm sure that many of you are as well. But unfortunately, in our broader cultural context, it's often only the top of the top of the iceberg that shows, and that boils down to being a woman or a man. And of course, there are many different genders. So I think that what we're trying to do here is to unlock some of these constraints that bind us. Stereotypes are useful in some ways, but they also really constrain our creativity, they constrain our identity, and they constrain the disruptive innovation that lies within us and that we know is so important for cultural change and also so important for business. And so there is a human rights case for unstereotyping ourselves, but there's also a clear business case for this. And we're going to be hearing a lot more about that today, and I'm looking forward to that. So as you've heard from Sarah, the Unstereotype Alliance is a global thought and action platform that seeks to eradicate the harmful gender-based stereotypes in all media and advertising content. And I'm amazed, you know, I was just talking to Suhaila, our staff member, this morning about the fact that this alliance in India is really only 2 years old. It's amazing, I think, what has been able to be achieved by you in those 2 years. Really, the alliance here has grown into a powerful movement, bringing together a whole community of brands, organisations and individuals who believe in the power of advertising to change the world for the good. So, you know, there are many brands who are a part of this now, and I won't name you all, but many and most of you are here in the audience, and we really hope that the Alliance will continue to grow and thrive. It's such a powerful industry coalition. So today, we're showcasing some of that work, but already we have challenged stereotypes and pushed the boundaries and sparked conversations actually that have reached millions around the world. The Unstereotype Alliance launched its first business-to-consumer campaign designed to mobilise public action and spearheaded by the award-winning playwright, actor and UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, Danai Gurira. I hope I've pronounced that properly. This campaign is Say Nothing, Change Nothing. And it aims to raise awareness of the pervasive role that harmful stereotypes play in society. It seeks to encourage conversation and provide people with resources and educational tools to proactively and safely take action. That's just one example of these campaigns. And the launch of this campaign screened 3 films which cover issues of stereotyping linked to race, gender and disability. And these films have also underscored the harm caused when people do not speak out against stereotypes. We also recently launched a fantastic campaign called You Don't See Me. And this, again, is to tackle some of the persistent gender norms that underline advertising. And I'm reminded of some of the ads in my own culture many years ago, shocking ads that showed, they were meant to be funny, but it showed one ad was about some sort of cooking thing. And it showed a man with a woman across his lap, and the man was spanking her. And this, 30 years ago was considered okay to do. Now it's not. These campaigns can really shine a light on the fact that this kind of action is wrong and, in fact, criminal nowadays. So, like every country, of course, Indian advertising faces concerns regarding gender stereotypical portrayals of men and women. Around 87% of Indian respondents to a recent survey said that women are typically portrayed in traditional roles in their country's media, and 86% said the same of the portrayal of men. So through the collective efforts of our Alliance members, we've already witnessed some powerful collaborations and initiatives, and I've mentioned them above. But we need to acknowledge that the journey has just begun. It's 2 years old and there's plenty more to do. Stereotyping, as I mentioned, doesn't just harm individuals, and it does harm individuals, but it also harms your business. So there was a report done called Beyond Gender, and it was a study done by a global research organisation called Ipsos, and it really looked at how intersectional advertising that represents people across a variety of social categories grows and deepens consumers' ties with a brand. So unstereotyping your products really increases your connection to your consumers. So about 2 in 3 respondents agreed that intersectional creative executions, evoked positive emotional associations with the brand. So these ads that had unstereotyped portrayals of people made consumers feel good about the brand. They made consumers think differently about the brand. And actually it was found that less than 3 out of 10 people found these unstereotyped depictions irritating or offensive. So there's very little risk in doing this unstereotyping. And according to Kantar's global monitor, 65% of consumers say that it's important that the companies they buy from actively promote diversity and inclusion in their own business or society as a whole. So I'm really keen to see Kantar's presentation today on the diversity and inclusion state of the industry in Indian advertising. And this is, it's not just a snapshot, but also a reflection of our shared journey here. This kind of presentation, this sort of research will really help guide our efforts, I think, to align with the evolving needs of diverse audiences. Last month, with Kanta, we also developed the Progressive Unstereotype Metric tool. This new metric evaluates all characters in an ad, measuring how progressive the representations are. The metric was developed with a focus on measuring representations of age, race and ethnicity and disability, and it should be implemented in addition to the existing metric that really just looks at men and women. Kanta's recent research found that while members of the Unstereotype Alliance produced more unstereotyped content overall, underrepresented communities were still rarely depicted. So, there is still a lot of opportunity in India and some untapped markets as well in representing more diversity in ads. Globally, only 1% of ads feature a person living with a disability. 33% feature people with different skin colours and ethnicities, while 33% of men and 21% of women in ads are over the age of 40. Yet, globally, we're an ageing world. So it's really imperative for organisations to build diverse and inclusive teams, as you all know. In our mission to build gender diversity, we're really thrilled that over 7,000 CEOs worldwide have signed onto the Women's Empowerment Principles. And in India, that's more than 370 companies have signed these principles. These principles are linked to the Unstereotype Alliance work. They look at women's leadership within businesses, family-friendly policies to retain women talent and people with diverse genders. And they also look at such things as gender-responsive procurement, how many women-owned businesses are able to be part of supply chains, for example. So we encourage and invite more companies to sign up to the Women's Empowerment Principles and also to join the Unstereotype Alliance, because these collaborations are making a difference. The private sector is really important in meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals have been signed on to by almost every country in the world. We're halfway through the timeframe to meet these goals in the 2030 timeline, and yet we are way off track in meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. It's all of our responsibility, civil society, private sector and government, to work together to meet the goals. Gender equality lies at the heart of every single one of those 17 goals. We must work together and move along urgently our joint work in changing these stereotypes that hold us back from meeting the goals and from everyone living full and productive lives. So once again, I'd really like to thank you all for coming. It really heartens me to see so many people from the private sector who are interested in this agenda. And I wanted to just end my talk with inviting you to join another campaign. This is a campaign called the 16 Days of Activism to End Violence Against Women. And in India, we've developed a pledge that's very easy to sign on to, and also a photographic exhibition looking at what is a safe space to you. And we know that advertising companies have got incredible skill in photography, so please feel free to share this with your members. Join the pledge, and together let us also stop this stereotypical and terrible crime against women and girls. So I think that we have the video. Is it ready? It's a quick 1-minute thing, and we will distribute the website also for you to sign up to the pledge.
Today, we come together to end gender-based violence. We pledge not to hide behind silence, nor avert our gaze and walk away, and pretend it doesn't exist. It's our time to rise up against inaction and stop gender-based violence together. We pledge to be present and not be mute observers, invisible bystanders to violence faced, seen, heard, and felt, not even once. We pledge to step up and speak up, to stop blaming the survivor and start building a world of safety, consent and trust. Because there is simply no excuse for gender-based violence. Domestic violence, घरेलू हिंसा, intimate partner violence, संबंधी से हिंसा, sexual harassment at workplace, काम काज की जगह हिंसा, छेड़छाड़, online violence, stalking, teasing, सब. Ending gender-based violence is everyone's business. And if we don't take a collective stand, who will? अब हिंसा को नजरअंदाज करना बंद. अब वक्त है हिंसा पे धावा बोलने का. अब वक्त है हिंसा को खत्म करने का. उठाएं हाथ और शपथ लें, हिंसा का नामो निशान नहीं रखेंगे कहीं. Today we join hands to break the chain of gender-based violence. महिलाओं और लड़कियों के खिलाफ हो रही हिंसा को खत्म करने के लिए. Take the pledge to build a gender-equal world. बस अब कोई बहाना नहीं.
Thanks very much, everyone, and looking forward to the deliberations today. Thank you. And sorry, can I thank my team, Sharif, Sahela, Bhumika, Mira, also for the work that they've put in today. Thank you very much.